let's talk a little bit about the different components of our food and try to understand this idea of food security. You've even recently written about it. Um, Rice. Your father completely changed the way we, grow and consume rice in this country. I was talking to a senior journalist, and he said the only reason we are not food secure in, say, a pulses or oil is because they have not seen their own Professor M.S. Swaminathan. Tell us a little bit about your father and his thinking and what went into, all of the hard work that went into making India rice secure.
That's a very big question. Let me just say a few things. My father actually was studying to go into medical school because his father had been a doctor. And after finishing his intermediate, he thought he would go into the medical stream. And that was the time, he was about 18 years old, 17, 18 years old, when the Bengal Famine happened in India. This was in 1943 to 44, 45. And it was the last famine in India. We have not had a famine, luckily, in post-independence India. This was during British rule. There were many reasons and they've been examined. One of the people who has written very incisively about it is Professor Mahesh, the Nobel laureate. And the estimate is that at least 3 million people died. 3 million people. And when he heard news, and so it was obviously important news, saw photographs, pictures, heard about what was happening, he decided to change his career and go for agriculture.
Young men and women should never forget these kinds of incidents.
And so he went off to the agricultural college in Coimbatore and then for higher education and so on. And then he studied in Wageningen in the Netherlands. Then he went to Cambridge, England to finish his PhD. And then he went for a postdoc at the University of Wisconsin, Madison. And after the postdoc, he was offered a tenured track job. And he turned it down. And he said, I've learned these skills. I've educated myself to go back and do something about this problem of hunger in India. And so he came back and worked largely in the Indian Agricultural Research Institute, but first at the Central Rice Research Institute in Cuttack, as you mentioned. He started with rice and then moved to wheat. So I think I would say that message that kind of imbibed from his life is that you need to be a top scientist, a researcher, engineer, technologist, but then what do you use your skills for? There's got to be a commitment to some problem of, and I think as we are Indians, some bigger national problem that we all have to resolve together in our own way. And of course, you can have a career, you can have good income. Those are all very important for young people. But I think that the science you do, to what problem you apply your skills, whatever those skills are, whether they're in engineering or chemistry or whatever physics, what problem you apply it to is, I think, something that young people should think about.
That's it. That's a very nice way to, sort of frame one's own career aspiration. Pick a problem that excites you and that bothers you. As you said, the famine of 43 bothered him to the point where he educated himself, came back. I think that's a wonderful message, even right at the outset, for young men and women to take home. This is a field with a whole plethora of exciting problems that are still waiting for one young Swaminathan sitting somewhere in India to say that is the problem that excites me. And I hope if there is one purpose this podcast serves, it is to excite that one person somewhere in India.